Davy Russell. We are going to discuss the Antler Challenge. He's doing the Dancing with the Stars, and he's thankfully given us a little bit of time to discuss a few things. So many thanks for taking the time, Davy.
No bother.
We wanted just to get into it really about the Antler Challenge. You know, it's over 3 miles. There's hedges, ditches, drains, etc., etc. It's something I think you'd like to do yourself.
Oh, I'd love to do it. Well, it just takes you back to how our sport began, basically. So you need a little bit of cunning and a little bit of knowledge of where you're going and things like that. So there's a lot in it, and I suppose it's probably the closest you'd get to riding, you know, probably in a Grand National or the equivalent, you know, a big race with a lot of horses. And
yeah.
You need to be using your head.
Because you've done the Golden Button. Have you ever done the Antler?
No, I haven't done the Antler. I've done the Golden Button, and that was an experience as well. Yeah, it's an unbelievable thrill.
I think did someone take you out of it or something, was it?
One of your good hunts, is he master or is he red coat? Is he Paul Carby?
Oh, did Paul Carby take you out of it, did he?
His horse started jamming on, and when my horse saw his horse jamming on, he jammed on. He barely got over it, and I didn't, and he went on to win it.
That's right, I remember that. Yeah, he squeezed over and he cost you.
He barely got over it, and I ended up inside it.
To the big ditch, fence number 4. They're fanning out now to get a good sighter at this fence. Blaze ahead, Paul Carberry putting the brakes on there and has banked the hedge, and behind Simon has refused and has thrown Davy Russell.
Up inside it, so.
Did you see Gary Carroll there on his recent one there? Well, there was maybe 2 or 3 years, or a few years ago back.
Yeah, Gary is mad for that.
He fell at the first on, was it Ruri or something like that?
That's
I think
right.
he was favourite. You know, so we won't be asking him for tips to getting over the first.
Yeah.
But I was going to say a type of horse needed.
Yeah, I suppose you need a brave horse in a way. You kind of need a guy that hasn't, you know, that has seen plenty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably a horse with a good brain on him and quick to be able to adjust his feet and not be too worried of what's going on around him.
Age wise, you wouldn't bring a young horse here, would you? Like?
Oh no. Your horse would want to have seen plenty. He'd want to be after doing plenty. He'd want to be after being around the block. Do you know?
Yeah.
Like bringing a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old, probably you could do more harm than good.
Yeah. So you need something knows his job, bit of hunting, bit of jumping, schooling. Do you mean like, you know?
Yeah, because you have every kind of jump. Like you've got palings, you've got ditches, you've got kind of down into water jumps, and you need a horse that's been there and done it, and a fellow with a good brain.
So control is a big thing then.
Yes, I suppose for loads of different reasons you don't want to take off and go flat to the boards and empty the tank too early.
Yeah.
So you want a horse that's rideable anyway, at least, you know.
So preparation, you know, you're coming up, let's say it's nearly 5 weeks to the Antler now. What type of preparation, if you were entered now, what preparation would you be doing with your horse?
I suppose it's an ideal time now to start prepping your horse for it. I wouldn't get too carried away. I think, you know, just gradual, long, slow cantering and build it up to, you know, what we would call a piece of work in racing, and kind of, you know, 2 or 3 pieces of work. But I'd say the most important thing is horses want to be ridden out every day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Would you do 6 days a week, maybe a rest on Sunday?
Yeah, well, yeah, probably if you were able to ride them the 7 days a week and not do as much every day. But I suppose there's no point in galloping them of a Monday, not riding them of a Tuesday, galloping them of a Wednesday, not riding them of a Thursday. You know, that probably is not ideal. So, you know, a gradual kind of a build up towards the day.
So consistency.
Yeah, consistency, and again you could increase the feed a little bit, and you know, if horses, you know, probably are not getting ridden out on a regular basis, their protein levels and things in their feed could be lowered. And for this, then the opposite. If you're going to be riding them out every day, you'd want to, you know, give them that little bit extra feed and get them feeling well of themselves.
So even in the juniors, there ponies, you're recommending 7 days a week, but doing less. But it's just
a constant flow, and even if you increase their feed level a little bit, just give them an extra half a scoop in the evening time or something. Give them an extra scoop.
Or a small scoop, or like if a lot of people feed twice a week or twice a day, so maybe it's a third feed.
Yeah, exactly.
That type of work.
Yeah, and if you can't do it in the middle of the day, there's no harm in throwing it in there at 9 o'clock at night. Loads of trainers can often feed in the middle of the night or late in the evening.
Right, okay. All right. I suppose riders' mentality on the day. Now, you've had a lot of big days, a lot of pressure days, you know. So, boat riders, like I'm doing it myself. I'm going to be nervous, and we've a lot of junior riders who might be doing it for the first time. What advice would you give for mentality on the day?
Yeah, I suppose, look, I'd say first and foremost, your main objective is to get around.
Yeah.
Okay? That's everybody's main objective, is to get around. And after that, then you can factor in how far or what position you intend on finishing. So I suppose there's no point in going out just going gung-ho and, getting a fall or not completing. So on the day, you're first up, then the nerves don't set in as much, if you're just kind of there to compete.
Is it keep your expectations steady? We'd all love that first past the post, but it's just let's get around first.
Yeah, get around, and as you saw last year, anything can happen. You can come from any position. In an ideal world, you want to jump off in a nice position and have a little bit of room, give yourself a bit of space. Obviously, without over exaggerating it, just kind of give yourself a little bit of room and I suppose enjoy it, because it's a fantastic feeling to be able to let your pony or your horse flow away down to them jumps without kind of confusing the situation by going really fast and overexerting your horse. So if you kind of jump out in a nice rhythm, and it's all about rhythm, it's 3 miles, you're going a nice swinging canter the whole way, so you want to get into a nice rhythm. Don't give away too much ground out the gate, and don't be going too fast at the same time. So it's just a happy medium. And on the day, I suppose very important is arrive on time. And when I say on time, I mean in plenty of time, that you can go and familiarise yourself with the course.
You'd walk the track, you'd get in early, re-walk the course.
Yeah, absolutely. Walk your track, even if you had the advantage of popping in a day or two beforehand and have a little walk around, and then on the morning you could readjust. And just remember, if you do walk it a day or two before, there could be changes made on the morning. So always be prepared to walk the course on the day of the event.
It's a very good advice. Last year that happened where there was at least one fence was omitted.
Yeah, well,
ground wasn't suitable and it was taken out.
So you can do all the walking during the week, and it's no harm to go and have a little peep around and get your bearings. But very important, arrive early, walk your course, and obviously there's maps. You hand out maps on the day, and just visualize in your head where you would like to go and how you would like to approach the next jump, and at what angle, and at what degree you're going to go at it, what speed you're going to go at it. If there's a jump, a particular type of jump that would suit your horse, that you can make ground at it, that you're going to leave him flow away, where others might be taking a pull, you can absolutely, flow away.
That's ride your horse. If he's good at doing ditches but not so much hedges, use that to your advantage.
Exactly, yeah. And be prepared in that aspect. Obviously, tack is a huge issue. Us as riders, we're all responsible for our own tack. It's nobody else's fault. So kids,
you'd always saddle up would you always check them girts and
well, yeah, it's up to the rider himself to check his own gear. So all the kids, you're 13, 14 years of age, you're well able to check your own gear, so don't be blaming anybody if there's a little bit of this or that missing. And so check your gear and arrive. Have yourself, that you're after eating a nice breakfast.
Yeah.
You're athletes, you're going in a competition, so prepare properly. Fail to prepare to fail.
Correct.
That's was always my motto.
Which leads on to the tactics on the day. Now you kind of came a little bit across where, firstly, get around. Get around, don't put yourself under pressure. But if you're lining up there, like Andy Oliver now, he was in the kind of the mid-division, tipped on Licey. Would you be kind of thinking something similar?
Well, I suppose...
Or does it depend on the horse?
It depends on the horse and where you can gain advantages.
Yeah.
If your horse is nippy and he'll nip away down around the inside or here, there, everybody will have to know their own horses. But me personally, you just have to know your own animal and know your own, your own ability where that can be, and you know, I personally would think getting around is the number one objective.
100%.
And after that, then everything is bonus.
I think there was 45 horses went and 23 completed.
There's a 50%.
50%, but of the 23, they were happy men
Yeah,
and ladies.
yes,
they were
absolutely.
absolutely delighted. To be like,
Absolutely.
you know,
And the last past the post will get as much a kick out of it as the first past the post.
100%.
And there's no, like, okay, it's a prestigious event, and you know, absolutely, you'll be hanging them antlers up over your front door, but at the same time,
Yeah.
it's all about.
Well, these things, it only comes, this is the 4th time it's ran in the last decade.
Yeah.
So, you know, I suppose you have to take your opportunity when it comes.
Oh, absolutely. Be competitive and be, you know, get involved and have a go. But at the same time, you know, you'd like to be, you must finish to collect the prize. You know?
If you, so like, you've ridden some great horses over the years, I mean, like
Absolutely.
some unbelievable horses. And I suppose we were talking earlier on that if you had to pick, I'm going to give you two horses, but let's say if you had to pick a horse for the Antler, this type of race, this challenge, what horse would you pick, Davy?
Well, actually, probably the best horse to jump that I ever rode was a horse called War of Attrition.
Okay.
Now, he was a point and steer job. He was an absolute cat. So if I could roll back the clock and get him out of retirement, he'd definitely be one.
And like, if he was a 15-year-old now and just you could tip along,
point and steer, I'd say, they wouldn't know which way he'd be going.
and going through woods and going through woodlands, he's nice and steerable.
He was like a cat. He'd crouch down like a cat, going to a jump. He knew exactly where he was going. He was clever as a fox.
Yeah, and you could put him anywhere, front, back, middle.
No, anywhere. You could make the run, you could drop him in, you could do whatever you want. He was a push button job.
Right, okay. And I suppose a lot of people would be asking, would you take Tiger Roll?
I had the Tiger, yeah. He was so clever. He could judge things to a millimetre.
Yeah.
So it was kind of hearting him out kind of stuff when you were riding Tiger, but he was I'm not sure did he ever fall. If he did, it was.
He's never with you anyway.
No, it definitely would have been Ryder error because he was so clever. Like he was. So now you may not enjoy it as much because he used go to the minimal. He'd only give you the
he'd give you the minimum amount to get over. Yeah. So he'd be doing something similar. If he's jumping a ditch, basically, he'd be would he jump a ditch?
Oh, absolutely.
He'd ping it
No bother,
and when you're riding these type of horses, are you leading them to it when you're coming up to a fence? Are you kind of just quietly sitting there?
Look, bar you're riding a very young green horse, you just put your hands down on their wither and keep squeezing. Squeezing the whole way down, keep squeezing, they'll find their feet. Don't be interfering with them in any way.
Leave them alone,
just keep the momentum, and the most important thing is momentum. You must keep the momentum up and have confidence in yourself that you put your hands down on your withers and you just keep a little bit of contact in their mouth and just squeeze the whole way down. Keep squeezing. They'll find their feet.
I suppose then when we go back to when Paul Carby kind of literally had a bit of, he kind of crossed your fires in the Golden Button, would you be watching other riders going ahead saying, listen, this horse is kind of stopping here now, I need to keep left or right, so that's important for the riders to remember.
And I suppose when the whole thing narrows down to maybe a small thing, you want to be prepared and either be ahead of them going into it or something like that.
Yeah, there's a keyhole where there is a few fences that it does squeeze in.
Yeah, when you're going down through the up and over the river there, and maybe if there's a tight turn, you know, I think there's one of the jumps you have to kind of a canal turn
correct,
thing. So you don't want to be on, if something is jumping mad to the right and you want to turn sharp to the left, you know, you have to be aware of all these things.
Keep that awareness.
Just look up and see the whole picture in front of you. You'll see, you imagine when you see an awful lot when you lift up your head and open up your eyes.
These type of events, so we've had the Tipperary Challenge and the Antler, especially in Ireland, and obviously there's a good few events in the UK. How important are they for kind of rural countryside and, you know, kind of equestrian folk?
Well, it goes back. We can't lose our heritage, really. Like, and in this day and age, it's fun. The horses are bred for it. They're trained for it. They're looked after to the best of their ability for it, and it's just a matter of enjoying yourself. Like, it's just literally. You need to have a bit of fun now and again, and this is it's great fun. And actually, the horses actually love doing it as well, because I don't often get the opportunity to go and run and jump like that. You know what I mean? It's good for man and beast.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic thing, and these things need to be kept because there is a cancel culture out there. You can't do this or can't do this.
I remember back in the day they done a rerun of the very first steeplechase that was run from steeple to steeple in Churchtown to Doneraile. And it's a Churchtown, I think, to Doneraile, and to see the course the very first steeplechase took, like, it was just brilliant.
That was like as the crow flies, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and this is the same again. You know, it's the same thing. It's what all our people before us used to do, and how people used to live years ago, and how we used to get enjoyment. Anybody can get a bit of enjoyment on a phone, but unfortunately, a phone isn't going to get the blood pumping.
No, you can't beat it. You mean, like, I think that's why Joey and Emma Moore bought the farm. I don't think they bought it as a farm. They bought it for the Antler. Bought it for the Antler. I think Joey's walking the farm and says, I think we can jump these hedges.
Yeah, well, and it looks that way. It looks like they're set out in a way for such an event, and look, there's loads of room. The ground is lovely, and there's no reason why anybody can go out and enjoy themselves. Yeah,
because I think when Joey was walking it, he brought Paul Carby. I think Paul Carby was thinking the same.
He should have Paul at home.
Well, listen, Davy, thanks very much for all your time. Best of luck with Dancing with the Stars. And
another member of past member of yours, Nina Carberry, won it a few years ago.
Absolutely. So the jockeys have good form in it.
I'll have a long way to go to catch up with Nina.
We're trying to persuade Nina to do the Antler as well.
I think she's got more sense than
she done it before. I think she done the first and second one.
Yeah, well, she was a marvellous rider, and she was well capable of doing it as well.
I think she done it on Jupiter Hollow at the time.
Yes, a good horse. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So, but many thanks for your time. And we'll see you on the 10th of March.
Yep.
Second, Live, Love, Laugh on the inside, Raf Linden, and then Tiger Roll, who jumped into fourth and still going well for Davy Russell. They're clear then of Regal on
to last, and Tiger Roll goes to the front in the National from Magic of Light. They take it together.